NFL Network's lead insider Ian Rapoport has revealed the New York Jets' plans for Aaron Rodgers, which in turn will affect their plans for Davante Adams, and we got to break it down here on Jets Digest. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Before we hop into the video, only 20.2% of viewers are subscribed, so if you're not subscribed, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. It helps out me a lot, helps out Chris a lot, and we will be creating more stuff for you guys in the future, of course. But hopping right into this report, according to Ian Rapoport, his Twitter handle is there, Rap Sheet. I want to get this video out. I could not find the actual tweet, but it's not a real tweet. It's from, he said it on a TV show. So here's what we got. We got a tweet from Sportskeeda Pro Football. New York Jets head coach Aaron Glenn is open to Aaron Rodgers returning to the team, and Rodgers is open to staying with the Jets. A couple days ago, we saw there was a leak that this was the case, that Aaron Glenn wanted to have Aaron Rodgers back. Some people believed that leak. Some people didn't believe the leak. But now we have it from Ian Rapoport, highly reputable source. We know for a fact Aaron Glenn is officially open to keeping Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback for the New York Jets. This, of course, is the number one thing that we have been waiting for the news. This is the next step, other than coaching hirings and who's going to be on Aaron Glenn's staff. The Aaron Rodgers question has been the number one question posed by every single Jets fan. He is the most important player on the team. He has unbelievable financial cap implications, whether they keep him or let him go. Everyone, whether you love Aaron Rodgers or you hate Aaron Rodgers, everyone has an opinion on the man. He is a polarizing figure. It's impossible to not have an opinion on him. The way he handles himself in the media, on the football field, whether it's one of his good days or one of his bad days. He's had, of course, significantly more good days than bad days, but it looks like both sides are open to returning to the New York Jets in the year 2025. Aaron Rodgers, of course, on a gigantic contract, and do even more money via a $35 million contract bonus should he be on the team for next year. But it looks like Aaron Glenn is open to Aaron Rodgers sticking around, sticking out that full contract, and staying with the team. Aaron Rodgers, has claimed in the past he is open to taking a reworked contract, restructuring his deal to stay with the team to make his cap hit a little bit more manageable, so the team can put the rest of the team around Aaron Rodgers, so they're going to have more cap flexibility to pay other players. If you remember, going into the year 2024, Aaron Rodgers stepped up out of nowhere and took he took a salary reduction to allow the New York Jets to pay more players instead of just him. We can expect, if he stays with the team, as he says here that he is open to, we can expect Aaron Rodgers is going to take another contract rework and lower the amount of money that he's going to be earning next year to stay with the team. It is truly going to be an ego thing for Aaron Rodgers. He is not going to be able to go out on a failure like the way this season was. Only 5 wins. He is looking at himself and going, I am so much better than that. I need to prove myself to my haters, to his fans, to himself. He really needs to go out and show that he is still Aaron Rodgers, the 4-time MVP, the Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers that we know he can be. We saw it in very short spurts this year. He had some really good plays that made you reminisce on the good old days of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, but there's far too much bad this year with the New York Jets when it came to Aaron Rodgers. A lot of that can be chalked up to wide receivers dropping passes, offensive coordinators not calling good plays, whether it's Nathaniel Hackett or anyone Downing calling the plays, anyone calling the plays. The play calling wasn't good enough for the New York Jets. That's just, everyone can see that. And also him coming off an injury and Aaron Rodgers being really, really old. Of course, a torn Achilles, very difficult to keep playing through that. His rehab took away a lot of his practice time over the summer. He still had to ramp up from the injury. He had an experimental procedure done to rush it so he could maybe get back for last year. But of course, that seemed more of a fantasy than a real actual potential outcome for Aaron last year. But if you watch him closely, the last 5 or so games of the NFL season of 2024, he started playing better. He started playing more like the Aaron Rodgers from before the Achilles injury. So it is a very real possibility that Aaron Rodgers is just needed time to come back and heal from that Achilles injury. You got to remember he's 41 years old. That's a catastrophic injury for someone who's 21 years old. So being 41 years old, Aaron Rodgers needs extra time. When you're a quarterback, I know he's not running, but he needs his legs to be strong so he has a powerful base and is able to drive the football down the field. That matters less for Aaron Rodgers because he is someone with tons and tons and tons of arm talent, which means the fundamentals, he doesn't have to do all of those perfectly every single time. Sometimes he can just, from any base, any angle, just flick the ball out there and it's going to go exactly where he wants it and really far down the field. But he got to make sure he's got to get the base at least something that he can trust. He has to know that when he plants his foot's not going to go out on him. And on a lot of plays this year, it looked like he wasn't able to trust his foot. But now that Achilles will be fully healed and he will be ready to rock and roll if he's with the Jets coming next year. Also, people are asking if Aaron Rodgers is back on a restructured deal, will Davante Adams be back on a restructured deal as well? And yes, Davante Adams should be back, but it won't be on a restructured deal. It will be a completely new deal. Davante Adams will be being cut after this season, without a doubt. His contract is worded in such a way that no matter what team he was on and how good he was going to be cut. He is due more money than Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the NFL today. He's owed more money than him. The reason his contract is the way it is because when he signed it, he wanted to be known as the highest paid wide receiver in football. Everyone who dove into the cap and just read over the rules and how the money was spread out, you could see that he wasn't actually going to be the highest paid wide receiver in football when he finishes his contract with 2 years of $36.2 million per year, non-guaranteed. Of course, no NFL team is going to be paying a wide receiver that kind of money. Only quarterbacks in this league get that type of money. So Davante Adams, at him getting older as well, certainly was not going to garner that type of contract from the New York Jets for 1 year or for any amount of time. So Davante Adams, we can expect with Aaron Rodgers coming back, Davante Adams would be back with him if Aaron Rodgers does decide to continue to play for the New York Jets. This now comes down to our new GM to see if he wants to bring Aaron Rodgers along as well. Aaron Glenn, him being open, that tells me, him being open to Aaron Rodgers coming back, that tells me that he wants Aaron Rodgers to come back, because when you say you're open, that's him. He doesn't want to actually pick a side, but I don't understand why he would even say something like that if he wanted Aaron Rodgers to be gone. This is the right thing to say, because no matter what happens to Aaron Rodgers, you can't look at the team and say, this isn't what the head coach wanted to happen. He wanted the quarterback gone, or he wanted the quarterback there. He can always go back and say, well, I was open to it going either way. But the fact that this news is coming out from a highly reputable source like an Ian Rapoport, that tells me that Aaron Glenn does want Aaron Rodgers to come back with the New York Jets. Aaron Glenn, he now needs to go out and pick an offensive coordinator who is going to be able to maximize Aaron Rodgers' talent. We know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He's going to step to the line of scrimmage. He's first going to set his protection. Then he's going to pull out a bunch of audibles. He's going to read the defense. He's going to find the safeties, and he's going to change probably 3 or 4 routes determining based on what he sees the defense doing. And then after he does that, he's going to do one of his fake snaps, his cadences, and he's going to watch the safety, and the safety is going to take 1 or 2 steps in a certain direction, and that might cause Aaron Rodgers to do even more hot routing. This year, we saw Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, Mike Williams. It was tough for them to get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers because they were not ready for this type of hot routing. They were not ready for the type of nuances that his strategy brings. Aaron Rodgers, you got to know what he's thinking at all times. But the problem with that is he's really, really smart and usually not on the same page. These receivers are not on the same level of thinking as an Aaron Rodgers, as where he is being a veteran player and someone who's played at the highest level. There were a lot of times where someone would, let's say Tyler Conklin, just as an example, he goes out on a 10-yard curl route and turns around and puts his hands up for the ball, but Aaron Rodgers has already thrown it on what he thought was going to be an 8-yard curl route, and the original play call was 10 yards, but there was a defender at 11 yards, so Aaron Rodgers would throw it shorter for Tyler Conklin so he can catch the ball and protect himself. However, Tyler Conklin didn't see that. He ran the route as it was called, and in the end, we have an incomplete pass, and it looks bad for both sides. You don't really know who's right, who's wrong. But the thing is, when Aaron Rodgers can get a full offseason and he's not doing any rehab and can do all football work, he can be more connected to his wide receivers. As long as we're hanging out to Garrett Wilson and not getting rid of Garrett Wilson. There are of course, reports that Garrett Wilson would want out should Aaron Rodgers return to the New York Jets. Those reports, we do not know how correct or reputable those reports are so far. Of course, Garrett Wilson's my favorite player on the New York Jets. Don't want to see Garrett Wilson going anywhere this offseason. I would love to see the Devonte Adams, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers show return for one more time to see if with a real offensive coordinator and a full offseason of prep work and a full season with the head coach, if this thing can all work out for the New York Jets. But if you want to know about these Garrett Wilson rumors, updates, me and my co-host Chris are, of course, going to be making more videos on that. So hit the subscribe button if you want more of that. If you stuck around this long in the video, please hit the like button. And as always, go Jets.